Hello everyone. Can you hear me? The sound seems to be working now. I'm very sorry about that problem with the delay. It would be wonderful if you could use the chat box and just let me know that you can hear. And sorry about that. I had to totally reload this webinar because the microphone wasn't working. So I was talking and my voice wasn't pulsing on the screen. And so I knew you couldn't hear me, thankfully. And I didn't do the whole webinar just to myself. So we will begin from now. Thank you all so much for signing up to this webinar, and welcome those of you that do not know me and have not met me. My name is Katie and I am from Starlight, and I am a channel and I run all sorts of ceremonies and workshops and spiritual soul journeys. And my life is really magical and very blessed, and I feel very lucky to live such a happy and fulfilled life. It has not necessarily been the easiest thing to achieve. It's been years of learning how to make life work and how the universe works and learning how to live life. And this webinar, I will be sharing one of the biggest kind of breakthroughs I had in getting the life that I wanted. There is, thank you, there is no picture on this webinar. It is purely a voice webinar so that you can listen deeply from your heart space. So feel free to relax and close your eyes and listen, or just to keep your eyes open and listen. We will be doing experiential things on this webinar so that you can have experiences. I really believe that spirituality is all about experiences. That is where you find out the truth, and the truth that is your truth. And so generally with all kind of self-help tools that I share, I try and give people as many experiences as I can. For those of you that have not had a webinar with me before, I really love my webinars to be co-creative processes. And so it would be wonderful if you could make this webinar your own, those of you that are listening live, and share your experiences, ask questions, really take this webinar on a co-creative journey. We are going to begin with a little meditation just to connect us in and help us become present for this journey. This hour is a journey into a deeper understanding of ourselves and the way that we manifest. And I am really passionate about doing this webinar because I see so many people manifesting, and they're doing everything that they need to do to manifest the life they want, and yet they're missing this one key component that was so huge for me, and it was so huge in changing the way that I manifested, and indeed the way I lived my life. And it just seems to be missing from so many manifesting systems and books and processes out there. And so I'm really passionate about sharing this. And this meditation is really about you having an experience of coming into circle with those that are also listening to this live webinar, and bringing yourself into the presence of the moment and being able to focus and hear this webinar with more and with all of yourself. so that you can really absorb it and take it in. So closing your eyes and feeling the muscles around your eyes relaxing as you breathe in love and breathe out gratitude. Breathe in love and breathe out gratitude. Breathe in love and breathe out gratitude. And as you breathe in love and breathe out gratitude, honor the receptivity of this breath. It is a breath for receiving. And that's what manifesting is really all about. It's about loving ourselves enough to receive the life that we are worthy of, to receive the dreams that we deserve, that are our destiny. My guides always say that if you want something, it is your destiny, because the want is the ingredient that makes you go out and get it. If you want something, it's because you are meant to have it, and that want is actually the fuel that will drive you to where you need to go. And so you can trust that anything you want is on the horizon of your path. And all you need to do is ultimately love yourself enough to receive it. And so as you're breathing this breath, love yourself enough to receive this webinar. Trust that if you are listening to it now or in the future, it's because you are meant to. It's because it's your destiny to. This webinar is all about allowing yourself to go bigger, to create more space, to dream the big dream. And as you breathe, just let your aura stretch out to the size that you want it to be, to the size that feels right for this moment. And as you breathe, just become conscious of this circle that you are sitting in energetically with the other people that are listening. There is something so powerful about honoring circles of people at the moment. Honoring cycles. Honoring coming together. And just honor this. Enjoy it. Feel the support from those that are also listening. And open your heart to this webinar now. Open your heart to the people you are in circle with, and to what you are here to learn and to evolve within yourself. And just choose in this moment to trust that you are here because you are meant to be. And choose to invite all of yourself to be here now. Just feel that fullness of self arriving into the moment. And choose to gift yourself this hour, this time. Make sure your phone is off. Make sure there are no distractions. This is part of creating space. It's being able to give ourselves the time we need to hear, to heal, to grow, to honor our journey. And as you open your heart to this journey, just ask your heart, why am I here? Why was I called to this webinar? Just let the answer come from your heart. Pulled a card for us collectively. And it's a card that is from a pack called Return of Spirit. And the card says Celestial. Just let that celestial energy just hold you for this webinar. Just support you for this webinar. Really surrender into this webinar. Let it be a yin journey. And you just allow yourself to be carried to wherever it is you are meant to be. And breathe in love and breathe out gratitude. Breathe in love and breathe out gratitude. Breathe in love and breathe out gratitude. And when you are ready, open your eyes and come into the space. And I would love to hear from anyone who feels called, how they are feeling before and after the meditation. So much of the space creating work that we can do for ourselves in our lives is about how we feel. And I will be talking in more depth about that later on in this webinar, but just notice how you feel after the meditation. Feel free to type it in and share it, and I will read it out unless you put private, in which case I won't. And now I'm going to ask you a question. And feel free to type because there's a delay between me and you. So just type and I'll read when I can. I'm going to ask you a question. Are you manifesting the life that you want? Because really, you can do all of the exercises there are out there for manifesting, and you can be thinking really, really positive and visualizing and doing all of the vision boards, etc., etc., etc. But how you actually know if it is working is not by ticking the boxes of all of the tools that you have in your toolbox for manifesting. It is by looking at your life and saying, well, is this stuff showing up? You know, am I fulfilled and happy in my job? Have I got the relationship that I want? Am I living in a house that I love? Do I feel abundant? Am I having the spiritual awakening journey that I've called for? This is really how you tell. Your life is the map to how well your manifesting is going. And that's not to say that you're manifesting wrong, because actually we are master manifestors. You are manifesting the life that you are creating now. It's just, is that life in alignment with the life that your heart wants? And if it's not, then you need to change something in the way that you are manifesting. And that is what this webinar is about, because there is so much stuff out there that is about manifesting, but it's always about going forward and what you want in the future and projecting it. And those tools are really, really useful. I am not discrediting any techniques that you feel right for you. But what I am saying is that if your life isn't actually reflecting that, then there is a missing link in what you're manifesting. And for most people that I work with and I see, the missing link is that they are not creating space. And creating space is creating space in your consciousness. So you have to look at what you are manifesting now and move it and shift it and clear it if you are going to be able to let your new manifestations and life in. Otherwise, You can visualize and even vibrate all you like, but if you haven't cleared out your consciousness, it is just like trying to paint a picture on top of another painting. And that's what my manifesting used to be like. Some things would show up, but then my old life was still, all of the things that I was stuck and I was struggling with were still kind of coming through. And so my manifesting was only partly working. And I was also manifesting a lot of things that I didn't really want, that weren't making me happy. And that is because I personally wasn't creating space in my consciousness. And when I talk about consciousness, I am talking about your subconscious, deep, deep down, not what you believe on the kind of surface of your consciousness, not what you know to be true, not the laws of the cosmos that you know to be true, but actually what you are manifesting from your life. Because you are basically a master manifester. You wouldn't be here if you weren't amazing at manifesting. And you have created every single thing that is happening in your life through your belief systems and consciousness. And that can be really hard to hear at first. I felt some of you tense up. It can be really hard to hear at first because, you know, we don't like to take full responsibility, especially not the victim within us. But, you know, your belief systems really do run the show. Your consciousness really does run the show and calls forward the experiences that you are having. And I'll give you a little experience of that now, just so that you can feel it and feel it on an energetic level. Thank you. We had a lovely comment from Katie. She's saying, I feel happier and more aligned in my heart. And my heart said, I am here to trust myself again. Before it started, I felt a little ungrounded and unsure if I should listen to the webinar. So I love that you reminded me that I'm supposed to be here. That's fabulous. And, you know, being ungrounded and unsure is a good thing. It means that change is about to happen. It means that a big change is about to happen if you're feeling a bit unsteady. So it's a really, really good sign. And so just closing your eyes now and just feeling your body relaxing. Just being aware of the space that you actually have inside yourself, that quietness and that peace. And opening your heart now to the law of vibration. And just feeling this law. Noticing how your body is vibrating. How every cell in your body is vibrating. Noticing how whatever you are sitting on is vibrating. And noticing how your auric field, the energy that is your energy, that is around you, is vibrating. And just in your awareness, just choose now to see your consciousness. And as you look at your consciousness in your imagination, in your mind's eye, notice how your body and your aura are just the tip of the iceberg. And that actually your consciousness, your thoughts, your memory, your belief, your knowing, these things are bigger. They reach beyond your body. Notice how big your emotions are. And notice how this conscious space that is so much bigger than the dimension of physical form, has a vibration, has many vibrations, and is vibrating. And because this consciousness is bigger, notice how its vibration is reaching further. Its vibrations have more power and more energy. And with that awareness, just come back to your body, to the vibration in your body, and to your breath. And breathe in love. And breathe out gratitude. Breathe in love and breathe out gratitude. And when you're ready, just open your eyes. And that was a very, very simple way of showing you that your consciousness is really running the show, because whatever has the biggest vibration will be the thing that has the most power, the most energy to it. Whatever is bigger has more vibration, and therefore has, it's like a speaker, it can make a louder noise, a louder call. And did you feel that? Do type in. If you didn't, do type in. You cannot get this stuff wrong or right. It's about discovering yourself and having an experience of yourself and your own consciousness. And what our consciousness holds is belief systems. And belief systems, my guides put it so well, belief systems are amazing because they are not true. There is truth in the universe. There is a truth that your heart understands and holds that is personal to you. But for example, we all know what love is, or we all know what music is. You know, there's truth that we just know. And then there are belief systems which actually are not the truths of our heart. They are not the truths of our love. They are the truths that throughout the years we have absorbed from our parents, from society, from teachers, from experiences. And what my guide said about belief systems is they are like lawyers. That's how my guides described it to them. They said they're like lawyers. They are forever trying to prove themselves. And this means that loads and loads of energy is spent trying to prove these belief systems that you have buried deep in your subconscious, and loads of vibration is coming off of them and affecting your body, your aura's vibration, your thoughts, your words, your actions. And so these belief systems are like engines that are manifesting their truth, what they are about, because nothing kind of wants to die, essentially. So these belief systems are desperately trying to stay present within you, and they are constantly creating situations and proof, and they will be driving you, and how you will be operating from them. And these belief systems are big. They have been developed over years. They are often from childhood. And so you can sit there in your body and your aura, you know, imagining yourself in a really, really abundant life. But in that huge energy and expansive energy of your subconscious and your consciousness is a much bigger vibration coming through that believes that for example, money is the root of all evil because that's what your grandmother told you when you were 4. And because you haven't paid any attention to that belief system, you can be trying to manifest abundance in your life, but that belief system is also manifesting because it's also present, it's also there. So you might be calling that abundance into your life, and then that money is slipping through your hands and you're getting rid of it because on a subconscious level, you believe that that money is evil. And this is how we end up having kind of manifested lives. So we get some of what we want, but not all of it. And this is why when I discovered this system of creating space, it really changed the way I manifested so much, because suddenly it was about going, okay, so I also have to get rid of what I've already got. I cannot just be wishing for what I want. I need to look at what I've already got. And that is why it's such an important key. And it's not the easiest key. You know, it's very nice to focus on all the lovely things that we want and raise our vibration in that way. And it works. But actually, we also have to do the consciousness work. We have to do the releasing work and some of the, what often people call shadow work, in order to create that space. And later on in this webinar, I'll be sharing how you can make shadow work beautiful, how you can make consciousness work a really beautiful and free experience, because it doesn't have to be painful. It doesn't have to be difficult. And so if you have any questions, now is a really good time to ask the questions. Thank you, Laura, for sharing that you felt a huge expansive, you felt the vibration huge and expansive. That's exactly how I feel it as well. And basically, one of the questions I asked when I found out about this kind of idea of belief systems and of needing to clear them, well, the 2 questions I asked was, I don't know how to clear them, which I will come on to later in this webinar. And how do I know what belief systems I have? And here, my lovely ones, is the really, really magical thing. You know the belief systems that you have because your life will show you. As I said at the beginning, your life is the map of your consciousness. So you want to know where you've got unhealthy belief systems? Look at the unhealthy areas in your life. Look at the parts of your life that are stuck, that are making you unhappy. And often when we start manifesting, those things come up even stronger because you've set your free will to manifest, and your kind of higher consciousness, your higher self goes, oh my gosh, she or he has heard me. She or he wants to come onto their path. I'm going to show you everything that's wrong. And that is how you actually find these belief systems, because you look at your life. So we're working with the example of money. So say you're manifesting more money in your life, more abundance in your life. You look at the example and you're not getting money coming through. So you're like, okay, I'm manifesting. It's not working. Why am I still stuck with money? Why am I still financially struggling? And then you have to give space to it. You have to sit with it. You have to actually spend time going, okay, what is it that I feel about this? What do I believe? And this is when we come into soul landscape work. And we just gave you a taste of it in the experience earlier. But it's really about kind of going deep into yourself, because like I said, your belief systems, they're not on the surface. They're buried deep. And what I will say about them is that they often have many layers to them. So you might go, okay, I don't feel worthy of money. Why don't I feel worthy of money? Because money is the root of all evil. Where did I get that from? My grandmother. And maybe you'll even understand the family history. Okay, my grandmother was brought up by somebody who lived in the Depression. So that energy is running through it. Okay, how is this belief system manifesting in my life? Okay, I am being given money, but I'm getting rid of it because I really feel like it's evil. And when you get to the very core of the belief system, and this is where it gets really, really beautiful and moving, is you get to the core of the belief system and you realize that this belief system is operating from a place of love for you, because actually our consciousness is never destructive for us. Our consciousness is always trying to protect and serve and love us. And if deep down beyond that society's phrase of money is the root of all evil is actually a need to feel safe, a need to feel protected. And that's really the key question to ask in belief system work. When you identify one, you need to say, okay, what is this belief system giving me? It's making me feel safe. And that's really how you start to be able to clear it, how you start to be able to create space. And when you do soul landscape work, you can actually start to look at the belief system as energy, as blocks of color and shapes, and you can kind of feel all of the chords that this belief system is feeding into your life, and actually physically experience creating the space in your consciousness by shifting this and clearing this. And so it's about actually creating energy, because when you go into the belief system, you realize how much energy part of you is putting towards all of this. And when you release yourself from it, when you witness it and acknowledge it and clear it and release yourself from it, all of that energy becomes prana. And all of that energy can actually be put towards what you want to manifest. And that's when all of those manifesting tools about vibrating and believing and affirming and visioning can really come in and can really start to work for you. And I promise you, as soon as I started clearing out my belief systems, oh my gosh, my manifesting got so much quicker. And I really live a life that is very, very fulfilled. I manifested my house and I love my house. I adore my job. And I think back to manifestations I have made and I'm like, oh my gosh, it's all come true and I don't even know how it's become true. And that never used to happen really until I started clearing out. And now every time a life situation that is hard comes along, I'm like, okay, I embrace it. I'm so much more in my power and center with it, because I'm like, okay, I know how to clear this. I know how to work with this. And that's why this way of manifesting is so powerful, because it is engaging the now. It's engaging your life now. It's engaging what your consciousness is showing you. And it takes you on this incredible journey towards your soul and your path. And so you're all being quite quiet, which is lovely. It means that you're really taking it in. But if you do have questions, please let me know. I want to end this webinar with sharing some techniques with you that you can use, the kind of 3 major ways of clearing that I use. I will say that if you're feeling really stuck and really unfulfilled in your life, it is just a brilliant, brilliant sign, because it means you're at the end of a cycle and that a new cycle is trying to come in. But as humans, we are so scared of change. And when a new cycle is coming in, really all of the belief systems that we are stuck in really start showing up for us and really start, we become very kind of unhappy in our lives, or really, really unhappy in our job, in that area of our life where our cycle is coming in. And if you are feeling that, then I have a solution for you, which is I am running a really exciting course called The 5 Elements of the Soul. And this is a course for people that want big transformation in their life. My course is, there is a lot of channeled energy that happens on them. And so you are really held in the energy of the course. And they are just, I cannot express to you how much magic happens on these things, because they are done ceremonially. They are done the ancient and ceremonial way. And the 5 Elements of the Soul is a soul landscape journey that will take you into what you are stuck in, but not from your brain's perspective. Because when I talk about soul landscaping, that's your dreamscape. That is the soul landscaping, is like the landscapes of your dreams, which is how your consciousness works. It's how your consciousness speaks and breathes and communicates to you. And so when you go into meditation consciously and discover the landscapes of your soul, you actually start communicating with your soul. And in this course, we are communicating with the elements of our soul. So earth, air, fire, water, and love. And the elements are masters of change. They know how to change. They change all the time. And they each change in a different way. And so by going to those parts of ourselves that are made of those elements, we can invite that change into our consciousness, into those stuck belief systems, and through into our vibration, and thus into our lives. And the magic that has been happening for this course already, I know is going to be so huge and transformational. And so I really wanted to let you know about that, because the early bird is currently on offer. I've put up a little find out more tab if anybody is called, and you can just click the link and go to that tab. And that if you invite these elements into your life through your own consciousness, you're basically inviting the power of change through 5 different ways into your life. What's interesting about this course is we're also doing the shadow side of the elements, so the parts of ourselves that have too much water or too much fire. And it's just a completely alternative way of looking at our lives and ourselves. And that is really what my point is in this webinar, is that you've got to look at your life from different perspectives if you want to clear out and create space. You've got to look at your life through landscaping, through dreamscapes, but conscious dreamscapes, not just when you're asleep. You've got to look at your life from a movement perspective, from a vibration perspective. You've got to start speaking the language of that expansiveness that we connected into at the start. Thank you, Maria, for your question. She said, is it easier to clear the belief system by energy work by energy workers and by ourselves. You cannot clear, so an energy worker, like a healer or a life coach, can of course help you find the belief system. They can be your guide. So not just to use the example of the course is going to take you on channel journeys to help you find those belief systems. The overlighting guides and energies of the course, these master elements, are going to guide you to what it is that you need to see. But actually, because of the law of free will, a healer can't heal that for you, can't clear that for you. A healer or a life coach or anybody can only ever be a midwife. They can't give birth for you. And space creating work takes a certain amount of courage, because you really have to look at yourself and face yourself and look at your family and look at your past. But oh my God, does it make you a warrior? And does it inspire who you truly are to rise? A bit like, I imagine, giving birth does for a woman. Not that I have given birth myself, but so yes, you can do it by yourself. It's always good, especially in things that you feel really stuck in, to invite someone to be your midwife or to be your guide. But you must always be supported. You must always do it by yourself. Nobody is ever going to clear that for you. I will show you an energy technique at the end of this webinar that you can use to clear the belief systems that you notice. And clearing them is pretty easy, actually. What is difficult is finding them. And that's why soul landscaping and journeying and all of that kind of thing is so useful for this. So the three major ways of creating space and of clearing for me on my journey are as follows. The first one is witnessing. I have really learnt in my path as I walk that things need to be witnessed. It's all to do with the law of free will. Something cannot be released from you until you have seen it in its wholeness, until you have heard it and witnessed it and felt it. Otherwise, how can you clear it? You know, how are you even going to know if you want to clear it? Like, you need to witness it. And you do that through giving yourself space and time, and to really go deep into it and challenging yourself to go deeper and further into it. The other brilliant way to clear consciousness is ceremony. Ceremony, I am big on. Those of you that know me will know I include a lot of ceremony in all my courses and all my works. And that is because my guides just said the most powerful thing to me about ceremony. They said, ceremony speaks to the parts of you that don't speak English. And that was it for me. I was like, oh, I get it. Ceremony speaks deeply to the parts of your consciousness that don't understand this isn't working for me anymore. And it shifts your consciousness and creates space in your consciousness through an ancient language that is the language of our ancestors, that is the language of the past. And you know, personal ceremony is just a case of tuning in. It's just a case of honoring what you're letting go of. And that leads me to the last way. And these are the big ways of clearing. I'm going to give you a quick tip and a quick technique that you can use regularly at the end of this webinar. So the last final way is grief. And that might come as a surprise to some of you. It certainly came as a surprise to me when I found out about it. But my guide said grief is as an energy is totally misused in our society. And of course we must grieve our dead. Nobody is saying we mustn't grieve our dead. It's just grief can be so healing for our life and our consciousness. And that is because grief is actually the energy of letting go. And the thing is, what I said before is your belief system is giving you something. It wouldn't be there if it wasn't giving you something. And often it served you at a point in your life. You know, maybe you were a little kid and your grandmother, to go back to this story, was telling you about the age of the Depression and how awful things were, and was telling you about evil and money being evil. And you're this like conscious kid that has only ever known abundance in your vibration, and suddenly you're hearing about evil. And you don't want to be evil, you want to be liked. And in that moment, you make that decision to be a good person. And so this belief system is helping you be a good person. Is helping you be worthy of all the good things you want in your life. So actually, when you start manifesting consciously the life that you want, this belief system gets even stronger and is like, oh my gosh, I'm really, really worthy of these good things that I want. And it's just going crazy, like the engine of it is revving. And if you do not grieve all that it's given you, all that protection it's given you over the years, all that worthiness, if you do not grieve all of that, you're never going to come into the place of vulnerability. If you don't consciously grieve those things, you're never going to let it go, because you're still going to be wanting those things. And by grieving those things, you also start to honor those things, and you start to ask yourself, how can I give myself these good things that it's giving me, such as worthiness and protection, in different ways? And that is when habit comes into play, because you do a witnessing, you do a ceremony, you do a grieving, and then you go, okay, so I know the things I don't want and I know the things I do want from this. What habits do I need to hold vibrationally and consciously to maintain the space that the ceremony has created for me? And that's really where all those manifesting tools come in, because they're actually tools of habit. And once you've cleared that out and grieved, that's when you lay the foundations of the new habit. And you go, okay, so this thing was giving me worthiness. I've now created this huge amount of space in my consciousness. And when you do it from an energetic perspective, you can really actually feel the space. It's amazing. When you do it from an energetic perspective, you feel this space. And that's when every day you start filling up that space with worthiness in a conscious way. And that's when not just your body, not just your aura, not just your mind, but all of that consciousness starts vibrating with worthiness. And that's when things show up really, really quickly for you. Because then you have become that which you are manifesting, and the universe shows up for you, just like it always has. It's just you were manifesting from that belief system before. And, you know, again, one of the things I do like I will be doing on this 5 Elements course is also taking you to what new belief systems you can give yourself. I love giving myself new belief systems. Like, you know, how can I make my belief systems really serve me, even when I don't fully believe them yet, because they haven't been proved to me? That's how to actually, that's really mastering belief systems and mastering the changes you want to make in your life. And it's just about asking yourself all the time, what am I operating from? What am I operating from? Thank you, Selena. She's saying, oh, I love the parts of you that don't speak English. I'm in Spain and just been to amazing shamanic ceremony. All was spoken in Spanish. However, my soul and spirit connected. Amazing. Yes, I have been in Ibiza in total Spanish sweat lodges and had exactly the same experience where I understood everything, because, you know, our soul speaks energy. Our consciousness speaks energy and vibration. And you don't think you speak it, but you do, because you speak emotion. And so your emotions will always tell you if a belief system has been cleared. Your emotions, if you listen to them, will always tell you what you need to do. And so, for example, if you feel the course, the 5 elements of the soul course, if it makes your heart open, if it makes your heart leap, if it even makes you nervous, like excited and nervous, then your emotions are going, go and do this, gonna create a change. If it just feels nothing to you, then you're not meant to do it. And that is how to speak consciousness. That is how to speak your path. Your path speaks emotion and vibration. And all of those emotions of frustration are telling you that what you're manifesting isn't working and that there's belief systems that need to be cleared. And so I really, really hope that this is helping you and giving you an understanding of creating space. Obviously, we only have an hour, and actually, this is an ongoing journey. But I've just pulled another card, and the card says beauty. And I really want to say that, you know, this work, it sometimes is like an emotional release. Sometimes you do cry and grieve when you are creating space, but oh my gosh, if you do it through a landscaping process, through a dreamscaping process, it is so beautiful. And you see the beauty of your path, and you see the beauty of your consciousness. And I like to make my healing, my ceremonies, everything I do beautiful. Because do you know what? If it's not beautiful, I'm not going to keep it up. I'm not going to do it. Because we're addicted to beauty as humans. We're addicted to making things beautiful and being within beautiful experiences. And so you can make this healing, this shadow work beautiful for yourself. And that would be my recommendation when you're sitting with yourself. Use your imagination to make it beautiful. I'm going to give you another example of this before our webinar ends. One final tip is when you do notice consciousness, even if you don't notice the wholeness of it, or if you're walking around and you suddenly notice yourself having a thought or a belief system that doesn't feel 100% like it's coming from a place of love, that it's a belief system that is heavy from society, my tip to you is that you say out loud or in your mind, I clear, cancel, and delete. And that is simply intending that you're ready to let this go. And, you know, when you set an intention, it's heard by yourself, by your higher self, by the universe. And that intention is felt, it is heard, and whatever healer or process or meditation you need will start showing up to take you to that consciousness. It's like engaging the law of free will. And some things they're just at the surface, they're ready just to be deleted. And if that phrase, that's my phrase, but if that doesn't work for you, you can say, I let this go. Maybe think of the most beautiful phrase you can think of. But it's about starting to acknowledge that you're willing to create space. And that already starts the process. And it's, I like things that you can do when you're just walking around, when you're creating your life, to walk around. Oh, thank you, Selena, for saying they are always beautiful, and so are you. You are beautiful too. You're all beautiful. But I would like to give you an experience of how to make something like consciousness beautiful. And I am working with the energy of water this week because I'm tuning in to each of the elements of the course, and at the moment I'm tuning in to Great Mother Water, and she's teaching me to flow. It's amazing. She even came to the fire ceremony. She reigned at the end of our fire ceremony just as I was talking about the 5 elements course, which was quite phenomenal. But you know, magic happens when you work with these master elements. And this is the end of our webinar. So just closing your eyes, I'd like to thank you all for all of the beautiful questions that you've asked, for the wonderful and sacred energy that you have gifted our circle. And now closing your eyes, opening your heart, breathing in love and breathing out gratitude. Simply set your intention to go into that big, vast, conscious space and just ask to be carried to the waters of your soul, and ask the waters of your soul just to cleanse whatever needs to be cleansed in this moment. Don't try and do everything, just do one thing purely. That's part of what water teaches us. And invite her in and see where she goes to your body. See where she goes to your life. Just be the witness. As you listen to the invocation, notice how your imagination and consciousness play with the beauty of these channeled words. Grandmother Water, waters of my soul, many mothers of waters, come to me now. Show me how to burst the dam, so the rivers of my dreams rush forward and cycle. Teach me to free fall in endless grace. Express with me the power of my truth as it crashes through. Carry me across, Mother, on waves of light, to my tidal desires. Take me to my deepest emotions, to the wisdom, beauty, and opulence of my ocean. And notice how your imagination has called the water into your heart. And just allow your heart to be cleansed, whatever is ready to be cleansed, whatever's not of service now. And ask the water, what do I need to know now? Just let her speak to you. And as the water rushes through you into whatever area of your life needs a cleansing, feel the water move through you. And just notice your own aura vibrating now. Notice if you felt a shift. Notice how your heart feels as you breathe in love and breathe out gratitude. Breathe in love and breathe out gratitude, and send your love and gratitude to everyone we have sat in circle with. Thank you so much for this beautiful, beautiful webinar experience. The water's made me feel emotional. There's a final card I've pulled, which is be honest with yourself, and it has a dragonfly on it. And I've been seeing dragonflies with this course because they are fire dragon. They are air because they fly. They are obviously water and obviously earth. And so they are, and everything is love. So they are carrying the 5 elements. So thank you so much. Deepest love and respect and space creating and manifesting to you all.